we're fixing to roll into 9 o'clock, and we have a big agenda today, so I'm gonna, give it just a second, and we'll get started. And, the 9:20, is marked off.
Okay.
Sheila Lane, so you can mark that off of your agenda. All right, so we'll get started this morning, and we'll try to certainly stay on schedule. I know a lot of people have a lot to do. We have a lot on the agenda today. Welcome everybody online. Welcome everybody that joined us for county business this morning. We appreciate you coming to the Oktibbeha County Board of Supervisors meeting. We always open our meeting with prayer, and this morning I'd like to ask Supervisor Williams, would you do that this morning?
Yes. Let us pray. Our Father in heaven, we come this morning with thanks in our heart, with gratitude. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for all that you have done. We thank you for the opportunity to serve the great people of Oktibbeha County and the citizens thereof. We pray, Heavenly Father, that we'll be able to serve well, and that we'll be able to seek guidance from you, and that you will direct our path. Now we pray for those individuals who defend our country. We pray, oh Father, for the leaders thereof. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for what you have done for Oktibbeha County. And we thank you for what you've done for the state of Mississippi and our nation, and how grateful we are when we see other nations that are going through the turmoil in which they are going through. We thank you for what we enjoy. Now, Father, we pray for each one of these board members and their families, and we pray that things will be well with them. And we pray that we'll be able to make decisions that are pleasing in your sight this morning. This is our prayer. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All
Amen.
right. And we've got our attorney is here. It's not Rob.
I'm gonna
Sit in. Okay. Perfect. All right. Thank you, Supervisor Williams. Moving down to the board orders. Everybody had a chance to look at those in your packages. Did anybody have any questions about the board orders? Have a chance to read over them?
Motion for approval.
Well, I have one, and that's on the first page.
Yes, sir.
On the first page, that would be number 2.
Okay.
And that motion was approved after Attorney Robertson communicated with the lawful property owner to acquire permission.
Okay.
So there had to be some permission required.
Okay.
And it should be noted in those minutes that
Okay.
there was permission required, and Attorney Robertson did that research to get permission to have that covered installed.
Okay. So that would be the first on March 7th, number 2, paragraph number 2 about the culvert. He just wants to add some information on there, Ms. Barbara. Okay. All right. We've got the information added that was after the attorney had some conversation.
Yes.
So any other additions or amendments? All right. We have a motion by Supervisor Traynor. Second by Supervisor Montgomery. All in favor to approve the board orders?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 5-0. All right, we'll now open our floor up to citizen comment period. If there's anybody here from the community that would like to make a comment, you have 3 minutes. We ask that you stand up and state your name and your business. Anybody? Seeing that there's no citizen comment periods, we'll move down to Ms. Barbara. Assessment changes, please, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning.
And last week was the last day for homestead exemption.
Friday was.
Friday was. I know a lot of people were trying to get that in. Y'all were busy, I'm sure.
Thursday and Friday.
Everybody had a chance to look at
I saw
assessment
the
changes.
request. I make a motion to, I guess, decrease the, this would be to reinstate this.
Reinstate.
I'll make the motion to
Second.
do that.
All right, Supervisor Montgomery makes the motion, Supervisor Howard makes the second. Williams, I'm sorry. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. All right. Is Miss Sissy out there?
She's not.
Not yet.
All right, if she's not, Mr. Prysock, Dwight Prysock?
He's not here either yet.
All right, we'll move on. Ben Grisham, Aflac Insurance.
Thank you, Board.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Nice to be with you. Aflac's been a part of your benefit package here since 1972. 1972 is approximately when Cafeteria Plans began. B.O.S. was the president of the board of Chrysler back then, and they lobbied Congress for tax relief back then. And this is what Congress came up with. It's called the Cafeteria Plan. So under President Clinton, it was grandfathered in. Aflac's the leading provider of cafeteria plans in the United States for companies and businesses in Mississippi for municipalities. I work with 4 different municipalities across the state of Mississippi on their cafeteria plans. And we have 2 different cafeteria plans that we have benefits at no charge to municipalities. One of them is a premium-only plan where it covers only your pre-tax portion of your health insurance and insurance premiums that qualify to come out before taxes. The other is called a flexible spending account. It's a health savings card that your employees are able to have access to, and if they sign up, they have a monthly deducted premium.
Thank you.
It's not an insurance policy, but it's money set aside on a pre-tax basis that they can use this card. The card is preloaded, so they can choose from $570 a year up to $2,800 a year in benefit. It's their money, and it comes out before taxes. So if they chose the maximum benefit of $2,800, it would be an estimated savings of somewhere between $700 and $800 on an annual basis. It's an incredible savings for your people. It's a helpful benefit for your people. Under the premium-only plan, the difference in our plan and the plan that you have now is that you don't have to bring your employees in every year to sign off on their benefits. They can roll their benefits over from year to year if they don't have any changes to be made, or we can see them as you see them now, but we don't have to. We visit with departments in the 4 municipalities that I deal with now. We visit with departments, and we see every employee. The first time we enroll the entire account, and after that, it's just based on a voluntary basis or the new hires. So it doesn't require that you bring employees in every single year, except if they're participating in the flexible spending account. Then that, they have to be, every year they have to sign off on that for what they're going to participate or have deducted. So when you look at page 3 here, it shows the flexible savings account savings. And on pages 4, I'm sorry to be going so fast, but they're eligible items or expenses that can be used on page 4 and 5. So these are things that can be used, and they're eligible and ineligible expenses. So the obvious things would be deductibles and co-payments, prescription drugs and things such as that. The other things that would not qualify would be like going out and purchasing a car or vehicle or something that wasn't health care related. So there are specific things that this card can be used for when it comes to health care. And outside of that, it cannot be used. I'm going to ask Miss Lisa to come over here and mention to you what's on page 6 here about the life insurance benefit. I'm trying to move quickly here for you.
Well, as you know, Aflac is in the business of giving you peace of mind. And what we have to offer right now is our guaranteed issue life insurance. And we offer group, term, and whole life, and that's with no medical questions. So many people cannot get health insurance because of health issues with diabetes, heart conditions, so many other things, if they've had cancer. And we're offering a guaranteed issue life insurance up to $100,000. On the whole life, we can give a 10-year term spouse rider, also a child term rider. On the term life, optional spouse riders 10, 20, and 30-year term. Optional child term life insurance on that one also, and also up to $100,000. Very quickly, that was our guaranteed issue life. And saying again, Aflac is here to make your life easier. And I know that we're all familiar with identity theft. No one wants to be involved in identity theft. Over 35,000 people every single year are hit with identity theft. Does anyone know how long it takes to resolve that? Over
years.
yes, and just quickly, at least 25 hours. That could be, taking time off the job. A lot of times you have to get attorneys involved. So we have a way that we would like to offer Oktibbeha County, and that's called Easy Shield. It is powered by Aflac, and it is at no cost to the employees. We have 3 ways of security to monitor, internet monitoring. You're given a resolution specialist, end-to-end defense 32-step recovery process. It walks each individual through the process of getting their identity back. So we feel it's a very valuable product that we can offer the employees of Oktibbeha County. So.
Thank you.
While Leslie's getting this set up, if you don't mind, I'd like to mention a couple more things about the flexible spending account. There is a app that your employees will be able to download on their smartphone, and they would be able to use that to see what they had deducted or what they had used during the year on that app, as far as that goes. The main point I want to make about that is if they sign up for the benefit, it gets preloaded on their card ahead of time. So they have the money deducted over the next 12 months for that benefit. It's put on that card immediately for them on the first day of the month that your plan year begins. Okay, go ahead, Leslie. Okay, still wait. Do y'all have any question about this at all as far as that goes, the health equity?
It just seemed like those funds will be taxed once they start spending it on the flexible spending plan.
No, sir, their money's taken out before taxes. So
I understand that.
it would never be taxed.
It'll never be taxed.
It's avoided. And that's a wonderful question, because here's one thing I want to mention to you. Right now, one of the greatest savings to your county is your cafeteria plan, because for every $100 your employees are taxed on, you have to match it at 7.65 or FICA. So if that's avoided, then you're saving money as a county or municipality. This would just drive that even more, because that money would be pre-taxed as well, and it would be avoided taxes for the employee. Therefore, the taxes would be avoided for the county as well. This is what the card looks like. I have it myself, and my wife's company uses this, so we use this ourselves. It's just like any other debit card. You strike it, unless the power's off, most of the time it's going to go through. If the power's off, I went to Walgreens one time, the power was off, and I had to take the receipt, I had to pay for it in cash, take the receipt and send it to the company. They reimbursed me the money back. But that was no big deal. It's still pre-tax dollars. So that's how the money is saved. If the employee maxed that benefit out on $2,800, their average savings would be between $700 and $800 for that year in taxes alone. So it's an incredible savings for your people.
So if I'm hearing this right, somebody has a prescription, whatever, they put so much back a month, $100, whatever,
Yes.
max it out, go get a prescription, they get that pre-tax dollar is how they put that money in there. Then they get the prescription, they save the taxes,
That's
basically.
right.
Okay.
And so there's some services that have to be rendered that the insurance doesn't cover. And they know it ahead of time. And there's situations where people have to have set aside funds. And so this is a way to do it on pre-tax, from a pre-tax standpoint. Now, if they've never participated in anything like this before, we try to be conservative on the front end and say, it's like $43 a month is what, if you averaged out $570 a year, that's what that would be, whatever 570 divided by 12 is. And so we tell them, you know, use the minimum, start with, get used to it. If they're used to it, they can do as much as they want to. We don't limit them. They can do from the minimum up to the maximum. So we don't try to limit anybody on what they can do. But, you know, you as board members, you may end up participating in it on the maximum side, where a regular employee of the county may just decide to do a minimum. That's fine. Or vice versa, either way. Whatever a person's needs are is what we try to focus on. Okay, Lisa.
Excuse me, I'm Leslie Carpenter. I am with Ben's group. I'm the Employee Navigator case builder. So Employee Navigator is a human resource information software. What that does is it gives you the HR capabilities in an electronic format. The whole world is going electronic, especially since we were introduced to COVID. The other aspect of this is if you give your employees access to this, they'll be able to keep up with what benefits they have, what it's actually costing them, and even put in for a PTO request if that's a need. I can customize this to what you want it to be. If you don't want employees to have access, that's fine. We don't have to do that. If you don't want them to be able to ask for PTO, pay time off, we don't have to add that either. I can customize it to what you want it to be. This is what the HR person would see, or what we call the HR person. We can give access to all of the supervisors if that's what's needed, just so that they can go in and they can look at what employees, what's happening, going on with benefits. On the front screen, you'll see that there are some notifications, tells you what you need to do. Nothing happens in this platform without the HR person knowing what's going on. They'll see those notifications on the front screen. Let me bounce over here. I know we're tight on time. I can put any benefit in this platform. Your major medical, your supplementals, dental, vision, group. Ben was talking about flexible spending. I can even put that in there, even your DCSAs. So the other nice thing about this is it'll tell you what the participation rate is. You know, here in our demo, we've got the group accident. We have 188 employees eligible. Only 2 are enrolled. That gives you a bird's eye view to say that, you know, there's not a lot of participation going on. We might need to revise what our benefit package is. Everything that you have in your employee files, that big metal file folder, we can put in here. You never want to get away from your paper files, but this does give you electronic access to what's going on. Here we can see how what we're doing with hiring. This is how many people we've hired over those certain months and how many people have been terminated over those months. Salary, we can keep up with what our payout is, salary versus hourly, and a total cost. We can also look at average salary by gender. This helps a lot with your ACA reporting. We can keep up with race and ethnicity, full-time versus part-time, as well as our generational gaps. Generations, this little pie chart here is very nice, I believe, because one, we have generations that learn differently. This helps us with training needs as well as replacement planning. If you have several people that are looking to retire, we know from a bird's eye view how many we need to be accounting for. We can also look at turnover, voluntary versus retirement versus non-voluntary, etc. Also by manager. If you have managers or supervisors or however you classify your personnel, if you have higher turnover with one particular group, that might be something you need to look in as well. Reports. You see we have a lot of cookie cutter reports, ACA reporting, COVID reports with the CARES Act, HSA reports, as Ben was talking, federal withholding. A lot of cookie cutter reports here that we can run, as well as building our own if you wanted to specify certain templates. I put all of the documents regarding benefits as well as onboarding new employees. All of those are in your document library. As I mentioned before, COVID taught us how to work electronically. We can onboard new employees electronically too. What we'll do is we can set them up. The HR person puts in their basic information, first, last name, social security number, what their job title is going to be, as well as their compensation. Then we email the rest of it to the employee. They'll fill out their address, their withholding, their I-9, emergency contacts. Again, we don't have to put all of this in there. This is just a demo of the capabilities that we have, as well as sending out our employee handbook to them. We can capture electronic signatures, safety and training, OSHA, any kind of safety briefings, even if it's a short video that they need to watch. You can send that to them. They can watch it at their on their time or your time, whichever way you prefer it. And then we can capture an electronic signature or an acknowledgement that they read it. This is nice whenever you have a disciplinary action. If they say they didn't know that that was the procedure, you can pull up the handbook and say, well, you signed it on October 20th at 9:30 p.m. You know, again, nothing happens without a timeline. I'll show you that. Get a good employee. So I've gone into Anna's profile. This is like opening up her paper file in the filing cabinet. I can see when she was late to work and whether she brought in a doctor's excuse, when she changed her W-4. I can see what benefits she's enrolled in and what it's actually costing her pay period. I can see what she declined and why she declined it. Again, keeping up with our reporting necessary. Anything that she does, anything that you do, is going to be on her timeline. We're going to see what happened, when it happened, and who did it. Are you interested in seeing what the employee's profile would look like? Okay. If you give your employees access to this is what they'll see. It's a much more simple version. We don't want to overcomplicate things for our employees. We want them to be able to access their information quickly. So here it greets the employee, tells them that they have a task to complete. She needs to fill out her I-9, and then it's going to walk her through. It's never going to go away until she completes that task. Another thing, sorry, wrong button. Now she can go in and she can see what she's actually enrolled in and what it's costing her per period. It'll tell her what their coverage level is, when it's effective, what her benefit level is on life. It saves a lot of those call-ins whenever they have to ask, what am I actually enrolled in? You'll see there are some fields that she can edit. She can edit her emergency contact, change her address, phone numbers. If they are continuing their education or getting new licenses, they can add those as well. And she can see what she enrolled in for withholding. Again, any change that she makes or she requests, those will show up on the HR dashboard whenever they first log in. So nothing goes unmissed. Another nice thing, when enrollment comes up, open enrollment comes up, we can tell them, we can send out a bulk email to all of our employees and tell them open enrollment is scheduled in 2 weeks. Please go in, review the offerings that are made available to you. They can go in, they can talk it over with their spouse, make sure that they're making the right decision for their family. They can go in, they can look at what it's gonna cost them, services. All of this is what I'll build in for you.
Okay, thank you, Leslie.
Okay.
This is a very complex offer to your company, to your county. We hope you see this. It's hard to go through it in this setting almost in a way, but there is no charge to this. Aflac's desire is to become more to the companies that they deal with and to be the best that we can be. That's what puts the duck on television. I've worked for 30 years in this business. For 26 of those years, I've done these cafeteria plans for these municipalities. In all 30 years, I've worked with municipalities. So I know what it's like to be at a supervisor's shop or barn first thing in the morning at 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning. I know what that's like, and that's what we're asking you for the opportunity to be able to follow up with you in the future and do. These are parts of what we can do. You don't have to do all of it. If it's of interest to you, we would like to have a follow-up at some point and discuss what's of most interest to you all.
Certainly.
Thank you.
I
Thank
agree.
you for
A lot of
coming.
information for us to look at here today.
I'm sorry.
So, no, I
you
think that, a follow-up would be good. You just touched on the highlights and maybe individual department heads if they had questions. I need a motion to acknowledge, Mr. Grissom came in.
So moved.
Supervisor Montgomery and Supervisor Williams seconded it. All in favor to acknowledge your report?
Aye.
Thank you so much. All right, so you don't see Sissy or Dwight in. Mr. Pritchard, are you ready?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Got a couple things for you this morning and a few little updates. First order, I'd like to see if I can get an order to advertise the District 1 road improvements for Supervisor Montgomery.
I'll make that
We've got
motion.
this package ready.
Supervisor Montgomery made the motion. Supervisor Howard seconded the motion. All in favor to advertise for the road
Aye.
improvements for District 1? 5 votes to vote.
All right, we'll advertise this week, and we've got a bid date set for the board for District 1 of May 10th at 1 o'clock. Okay. While we're on bid dates, District 3 road improvements, or LSU, will take bids April 19th at 1 o'clock. The Harrell Road Bridge will take bids on April 12th at 10 o'clock. So while we're here, I have, we've completed the field work in District 2, Orlando, and in District 5, Mr. Joe. We should have those plans ready in about a week or so to put out. If I could get an order to advertise those, subject to your approval.
So move.
Motion to advertise for District
2,
2 and 5
road
road
improvement.
improvements. Motion made by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
5-0.
Similarly, we have the Harris Road LSBP project is at state aid, being reviewed now. Environmental is almost cleared on it. If I could get an order to advertise Harris Road contingent on state aid approval, that's LSBP 5316.
What road is that?
That's the Harris Road
Harris
Bridge,
Road, okay.
LSBP 5316. It is that state aid being reviewed now.
Second.
The motion was to advertise for Harris Road Bridge pending all approvals from state aid. Motion made by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, and just by way of update, our 2022 bridge inspections are complete. We've uploaded that data to state aid. It's being reviewed now. as soon as they see that, we'll probably get an update on bridge deficiencies, load ratings, et cetera. Phillips has now moved in on Longview. They're working. Poorhouse is coming along. The maintenance project's coming along very well. Falcon's doing us a good job out there. Octot Road has been marked. We've got those plans. I'd say they're about 50% now, Mr. Joe, on Octot Road. And John, we're waiting on word on Maven Sturgis, on what the extent of that.
Should know something next few days.
Yep, that's all I've got.
Have
Matt?
you,
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
have you done any work on the Mohai Road that we talked about, that?
That'll be in
small
your
section?
District 5 or 2,
Right.
or your district. Yes.
And I talked to Mr. Clyde about improvement of all of Mohai, and that would be striping and some of the patchwork on the side of the road,
Right.
not necessarily, but some improvement on that road and striping.
Right now, we've got in that project the reclaim on that bad area,
Right.
and some edge repair, leveling,
Right.
and then striping.
Right. So, if it pleases the board, then we'd like to add that to the 4-year road plan, because I only see from Mohai Road to be a length of 4/10 of a mile. So we want that whole Mohai Road improved. Whole Mohai Road improved. That's Mohai Robertson, because the road really is a combination of Robertson, Mohai.
Okay.
So, Add that to the
Supervisor
4-year
Williams would
road
like
plan.
to include on his 4-year road plan, all of Morehouse Road and Robinson Road for improvements. That's his motion. I need a second on that motion, please. Second by Supervisor Howard. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
That's all I have.
I have a question, on Courthouse Road, they are doing a good job on that, but it's so much higher because of the asphalt. Will they taper the sides off, you know? on
There's
the-
shoulder material in the job to replace when they finish.
So when they finish with the asphalt fill?
We'll pull the shoulders up.
Okay. All right. It will be a speedway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're building them too good. Like Jack's a racetrack and.
Well, we got plans
Poorhouse
to
will
make,
be a
we got
racetrack.
plans to make it an interstate.
All right, anything else?
I need a motion to acknowledge,
So moved.
Mr. Butcher's presentation. Motion by Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Howard. All in favor? Motion
Mr.
passes
Joe,
5-0.
Orlando, as soon as I get those ready, I'll need y'all to come by and look at the estimates and the plan.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Baggett, are you ready for your road manager's report?
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good day.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Everyone's spot doing well,
Yes, sir.
and you've had time to review the road manager's report. Any comments, corrections, or whatever?
I need a motion to acknowledge the road manager's report by Supervisor Montgomery, seconded by Supervisor Trainer. All in favor to acknowledge road manager's report. Passes 5-0. Mr. Baggett, did everybody get a copy of the email Mr. Baggett sent out about the 4-year road plan? You see that that's here on the table now? Have y'all had a chance to look over that?
Yes.
So we can complete all these by the end of 2024?
We can do our best, we can try.
It's a plan,
It's a plan.
it's a plan.
I need a motion to accept the updated 4-year road plan that's presented in your package. Motion made by Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Howard. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Do y'all need a copy? Do you have a copy of this to list the roads? I know normally he does want to do that.
We just got it, so I didn't put it in her packet.
Will you, can you? Okay. Normally, we list those so there's no confusion in the minutes.
Hey, one thing, Mr. Baggett, is simple, is, Loblolly and Whispering Pines, where they meet in that neighborhood, there's no sign.
Okay,
If they could get a sign up there.
okay,
I was walking in the neighborhood and my neighbor stopped me.
okay. And Whispering Pine,
Yes, sir. Just go through Whispering Pines and look, you know,
Okay.
those signs.
All right, the last time we talked about equipment, I immediately got with Mr. Blaylock, but he hasn't finished his work yet. I spoke with him this morning, so I'll bring you a report on that next time. You did give the go-ahead to advertise two of those items, but he doesn't have them ready. And I asked him to just wait until he got because you'd asked to look at some leaf vacuums for the ditches and all that. And so we'll have all that ready, hopefully by the next board meeting.
Good deal.
Mr. Baggett, the cost of these projects, is that cost flexible? I see it's a certain cost for each one of the
You're talking about for the-
activities
Yeah,
on the 4-year road plan.
it is, yeah, it's flexible. I mean, it's gonna be probably higher,
Yeah.
maybe 15, and maybe as much as 15-20%, and maybe not much at all. I just don't know, it just depends on
Right.
when we get to it and what they be doing.
So this is just an estimate then. It's a good estimate, I know, but.
Yeah, it's just an estimate.
Yeah.
There was also a question about I had one part on there I was gonna take off, about the fencing. Because I did speak with the audit department, and they said that I would need to get a board order either way, anyway, so I'll just take that off of them, if that's okay with the board.
You mean as far as to replace the fencing and those clearing projects?
Yeah,
Leave it on.
I said leave it on.
Leave it on.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
you know,
still gotta get it on board order, so leave it on.
Yeah, I gotta get on board, plus we gotta take pictures, and we have to get an affidavit, if necessary, and go through, he gave us a little list of things to do,
Okay.
to replace the fence,
That's good.
if the board so wishes to do that.
That's good.
So wishes to replace the fence or so wish to follow
Well,
those procedures?
No, to replace the fence. The procedure has to be followed in order to replace the fence. In other words, we've got to take pictures prior to then, to prove that the fence was there. We have to get an affidavit signed from the owner stating that the fence was there. And, it has to be a board order.
Well, I think it's a good idea to get a board order on that. I know our prior policies were, after we had this discussion last meeting, I went back and pulled them, and there's several, started in 2006, and then when Supervisor Howard was president, updated. Supervisor Trainer in 2016, and it was updated. We never have put up fence, we just reimbursed. But that was the policy before, was they measured and reimbursed them off of the fence. You know, we didn't have fencing crews according to the policies on here.
That's not true. We have given individuals the opportunity to either take the price for them to do the fence themselves, or we would do the fence for them. And we have been installing fence in the past. We've always installed fence.
I don't know of any fence in my district we put up, but
We just installed a lengthy amount of fence on Longview Road down there.
Yeah.
Lengthy amount.
This has not been a problem in the past.
So, Mr. Bagg, on this 4-year road plan, can you develop a work plan on how you're gonna accomplish this? As far as, are you just gonna start on District 1 and start at the first road here and go down the list? Or?
No, I can develop a plan. I'll get with each supervisor.
Well, I mean, not necessarily getting with the supervisor, but just kind of to give a, say for instance, if you're gonna start in District 1 and just work your way to the other districts, or whether you're gonna be working in all districts at the same time?
Well, we've got a capacity to work in all not necessarily all districts, but at least 3 districts at any one time,
Okay.
depending on what we're doing.
Because I'd like to see us complete this, by the end of 2024. That'd be
Yeah.
our goal. I think that'd be maybe ambitious, but I think we can do it if we got a good work plan in place.
Yeah.
Minus things we can't control.
Right. One other little item, the people in the office at Central Shop would like to have uniform tops. That's not a problem. 2 of them.
That's fine.
That's already a part of the contract. Don't you have uniforms for the?
We do.
Right. I don't see where that's the issue.
Okay.
What about the material, the waste material? Did you ever get anything going on that as far as getting rid of some of all this waste material we got? Because it's crowded out here.
It is
For a
crowded.
C shop, I mean, it's crowded, man.
And I was gonna present an estimate, not an estimate, advertisement to the administrator to put that in the paper maybe this week, along with the trucking. If that's,
Sure.
Well, I think we need to have a plan B too, because I don't know who you gonna get to come buy this old junk dirt.
Right.
I mean, you,
Yeah.
you can't continue to sit there and wait and wait and wait and let it continue piling up. You gotta
But we
have
still
a
can
plan.
give away like it's,
Yeah.
And we're still bringing in material.
Still bringing
In material. Now, do you have a plan to dispose of that material that is gonna be on the job this summer? So,
we have a plan to expose with a lot of it. We gonna backfill ditches. There's one on Muldrup Road near that bridge. We
Right.
backfill that one. We backfilled one on Turner Road.
Yeah.
And we can
Right.
spend quite a bit of the material doing that, just backfilling washouts. And, so
but
that's,
your goal is to not bring additional material but to the shop. I would think that we would not bring additional material in.
well,
We'll do
try not to
something with it.
we'll try not to bring it in.
Here's the thing, though, I think it's gonna cover him is if we do advertise and it shows that somebody or nobody wants it. Well, if nobody wants it, then that'll give him, the legal work, give us the legal paperwork that says that it is of no value, which I don't know about that. I mean, the way people are building and some field dirt, but if it is of no value, then that'll give him his, direction that he can then start getting rid of it and taking it away.
At the last auction, someone bought all the concrete out there and everything.
Yeah.
They brought quite a hefty sum.
Mr. Baggett, can you talk to us about the bridge panels and the selling the bridge panels and what, all the details around that? That's issues just come up. Have they been delivered? Have you sold some bridge panels?
Yeah, we sold an auction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that not on the list?
Yeah, thought so.
Yeah, we sold the bridge panels. We got 36,000 for them.
Okay, and so they were on an auction list?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they won the auction.
That we approved?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, they
All
were.
right. And that money's come through the county administrator's office?
I don't know if the money's come through, they were just sold last week.
What auction company? Who did you go through?
Thompson,
I haven't.
it was approved by the board.
Yeah, the board did the order to auction, but I haven't spoken to anyone. I wasn't aware that they were already out for bids and that they had been purchased. Have they been picked up?
Yeah,
See, I didn't know any of
So
this.
Thomas probably gonna send you, once Thomas, is probably gonna process it and send
Can you
whatever
get
kind of
that
receipt.
contact
yeah, I can have him contact you directly. He has your number and everything. I gave it to him.
Yeah, in the future, just let's make that contact prior to it happening, so the administration department will be aware of it, because I didn't know.
Do
Well,
you know what the total revenue was for the auction items? Guess.
They just had the auction 2 weeks ago.
$315,162.
Yeah, they just had it 2 weeks ago.
Good job.
They had spent the money yet.
Yeah, it brought a lot.
Yeah, you did well.
And I'm sorry about that, because I thought he had come to your office, as he always does. I'll make sure he does. I'll make sure I mention it to him.
Okay. Well, that'd be good, and just next time, if we can just get a little note of what the items brought, that'd be awesome to know what's the revenue.
So
for
you
it.
will know, though, when that money is deposited into the
Well,
general account?
they have to come up prior to the way we do it when we put things out for auction on GovDeal in places. The administration department is well aware of what's going on. I didn't hear about it till Friday afternoon, that the bridge panels were being picked up. So I didn't know I know there was a board order to advertise or bid it out, but I didn't know we were doing it. I didn't know what was happening.
Okay. All right.
Well, you'll get your money, Thomas gonna send it.
Yeah,
Yeah, Thomas gonna send it, you'll get your money.
Over
All right.
300,000.
Well, we can get an update on that then.
Good job.
So
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
hope
job.
next meeting. Okay.
That's a good job. That's
All right.
money we
That's
didn't
trash
have.
in the treasure, ain't it?
And again, I apologize to the administrator. I didn't realize that it had slipped a step or whatever.
that's been happening.
All right.
I think we're good.
Good day. We've acknowledged your report. We appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Baggett.
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Baggett.
All right, moving along, Ms. Livingston.
I got two things. The first thing is that we had no CD for the month of March, and the funds remain the same as Citizens.
The motion acknowledged.
Second.
We've got a motion by Supervisor Trainer to acknowledge that they stayed the same, and seconded by Supervisor Howard. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
And I need a board order for the affidavit, an affidavit of publication that we did for Harold Road.
And roll.
Need a
So
application.
move.
All right, by
Second.
Supervisor Howard, second by Supervisor Williams, for the application to advertise?
We've already
Advertised.
advertised, it was the affidavit.
Affidavits, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
5-0.
And that's all I have.
Thank you.
On the county administrative business, we can do it all at one, but I do wanna explain to you, the refunding on the ERVR that we initially had a board order to kind of go in, the state aid don't want the money back. So they asked us to try to find something to do with it. Well, because those projects are closed out, they're not under contract, it's not enough money really to bring in contractors. So what Mr. Harley told Clyde we can do is to refund the money to them, and then they would just put it into Hall County's overall state aid fund. So we get the money back, but I'm able to close out those 4 bridges that we were doing, Sun Creek, Longview, Averton, and Silver Ridge, I think. And they have a couple of thousand remaining.
So they're gonna send it back to the Treasury Department?
Yes.
And then they're gonna reimburse it through state aid?
State aid. So
Is
we
how
get
they're
the
gonna
money
do
back.
it, so it's gonna come back, but it was just an easier process for them, is my understanding?
Closes out that old.
Yes, those 4, so I need a board order for that part, but that's just explaining that. Now, we could do all of this in one, and then I do have 3 other additional things to mention.
Do you have a total for that reimbursement that will go back to state aid and
I
then
can
be
get a total,
reimbursed?
I think I provided the last meeting, each one had 3,006, and I think the most one had 23,000 maybe. But the thing is, they're not on the contract, they're closed out.
Right, I understand. I was
Yeah,
just
but I
wondering
can
what
get
that,
Yeah, I can email that out.
Okay,
I can
thank you.
email that out.
Motion we approve county business administration items 1 through 10, 1 through 11.
All right, I'm a yes on everything but number 1 and number 11.
All right,
Everybody
I'll
else?
second 1 through 11.
John seconded 1 through 11. Got a motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Montgomery. Yes. All right, all in favor? It's a 4-0 on that. I'm a
No
yes
for the
on
11.
2 to 10 and a no on 1 and 11.
Okay, I have 3 other things. The sheriff's department is needing to update a detector that they have. It's one of those sole source that there's only one company that has it. And, so we need a board order to just purchase it from them. So
Motion.
we don't have to bid it out.
Second.
Got a motion by Supervisor Williams to sole source. Sole source, what for the sheriff's department?
It's our computerized voice stress analysis machine that I'm the operator of. It's aged out, it's over 16 years old since we purchased the last one, so we have to upgrade it.
Okay, computer software, second by Supervisor Montgomery, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Also, the North Star project, I received this one, proposal from an engineer. I talked to Phyllis, she's hoping to try to make it, she had to be in Clay County. But we're needing to, develop a committee for this project. The county will be working with the city on it. So we know we need one representative from the city, one from this board, and then one other person, so we gotta decide on.
I know Mayor Sprillitz that she'd like to be on the committee, because
Okay.
Make a motion that the president serve in her capacity.
And then one
Or your
other person.
designee.
Yeah, and then I'll be glad to serve on that board.
I'll
And then we
second
need-
that.
And we need one other.
And the county administrator.
Okay.
And this is.
So the motion is to,
The North Star project.
the
Oh,
North
yeah,
Star
yeah.
project there, it's to help select the engineering groups on that, so the mayor wanted to be involved, so it'd be the mayor, myself, and the county administrator.
Perfect.
Wait, who made the motion?
made the
And
motion.
Supervisor Trainer made the motion, Supervisor
Second.
Montgomery seconded the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, also you have the Pickering Strategic Initiative Project. Some of this came in at the last minute, so it didn't get on the agenda, but I put the information in your package. So I just need to know what your thoughts are on that.
You all did get an update on the visit that Supervisor Howard and myself made to DC. We had a good visit, a real good response as it relates to the project that we were requesting. I think we had somewhere north of $42 million worth of stuff that we were asking for, and we did get a chance to sit down face-to-face, handshake, and discuss with Senators Wicker and also with Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith. And we seem to think that we are in a very favorable position to get some of our requests funded. What we have in our packet today is that you have a proposal from a group that has helped us before to help us with strategic initiatives. I know it's my suggestion that we approve this relationship and this partnership for some of the pending projects that we have now. With so much money out there will be opportunities for us to pursue other dollars and also look at the possibility of getting other individuals to help us. And I don't have any problem with that, because I think the more opportunities we pursue, the better off we'll be at the end of the day for Cafeteria County. But with the ones that we have pending, I think that we need to put a full court press on what we have already in place and consider approving this proposal and move forward. There's some deadlines that are coming up this month dealing with raids and some other stuff. So we decided that we're going to change horses in the middle of the stream, then we'll probably minimize our chances, maximize our chances not to get it, and minimize our chances to get it if we were to change at this point on some of the stuff that we have pending. But going forward, you know, I think that we ought to consider looking at multiple different tracks, you know, with multiple different people, and that would give us a better position to be successful. A lot of money out there, but the competition is great too. And when competition steps up, that means you're gonna have to step your game up too as it relates to being successful. So that's my suggestion, and my motion would be to go ahead and hire this group to perform this.
Supervisor Green, would you like to talk about?
Yeah, well, Pickering has a contractual agreement in that package.
Right.
They have a contractual agreement in that package, and within the contractual agreement, they have stated that they are not yearly, it's not gonna be pursuing no more than 3 projects. 3 projects within that contractual agreement.
Right, that's their recommendation, I think, to look at maybe 3.
Yeah, 3. So that third doesn't have to be the South Loop. Seeing that we have tried, this is our 3rd try.
Right, this is our 3rd time.
Our 3rd time of trying to acquire the South Loop. So that could be another project that Pickering could go after. We know we want to continue to go after funding for the county lake, but that could be something else that we could put them to work on.
Right. Or someone else.
Well, we already hired them for 3 projects. So we can have them working on 3 projects, which doesn't have to be the South Loop.
But we haven't hired them yet. Is what we could modify this contract. That would be my suggestion. I know Hell State and Poorhouse Road, what we're talking about is in both of our districts. And I agree, I'll just, with Supervisor Williams on that, that I think that we need to wait on applying for the 3rd year on the RAISE grant for that. And the reason I will say that, and I would be a no on that application for that area.
Wait,
yes, they have,
for your district?
yes, for my district, Supervisor
So
Williams' district.
You're gonna be against them?
Okay, well, let me finish. Can you let me finish,
That's my
please?
district.
I just wanna, so you're gonna be
Yes,
against?
this is not guaranteed money. This is the 3rd year they've tried to get money. So can I finish, please?
And I like to
So
talk
right
about
now, MDOT is in the final stages of doing a traffic study, and they have not released that study yet. And there's a master plan being developed through 2 other groups for where the routing will be. The taxpayers have just invested $1.7 million in that in Poorhouse Road. So I think that it would be a good idea to make sure that all the partners were together on where the corridor and where the needs are, and that we need to wait until that is finished before we move forward. It would be my motion, even though that's in my district, that we wait and not spend the tax dollars on that. It costs roughly $100,000 each year that we apply for this grant through fees and services studies that we're getting, environmental studies and different things like that. So I propose that we wait and not apply this year in that area, just to see. I will tell you too that the people in the other race grants that are being asked for, a lot of times we work in partnership with another group being on the boundaries of it. This is the 4th priority on their list. It is not a top priority. And for all of these reasons, I think we should just wait to see what the MDOT study says, what the master plan says from Mississippi State and the city before we move forward on this application. So I'm a no on that.
That is also in my district. The South Loop is in District 4 and District 5. The citizens of that area, we got to really think about what we're really doing. What we're really doing is putting a 4-lane down through a community. Down through a community.
Yeah,
that's all right. That's all right with Hale State Boulevard. Well, Hale State Boulevard is already set for a 4-lane. That's okay. But that's a complicated issue. That's more complicated than we ever even thought of. And I kept asking too, what about the infrastructure that's already there? Who's going to be responsible for removing all of those infrastructures, which most of them is on the right-of-way. Most of them is on the right-of-way. Someone is going to have to be responsible for removing, and that's not in the grant, I don't believe. But anyway, we're talking about running a 4-lane down through a community. This is not, we're going to go off somewhere and develop a 4-lane. We got to somehow get a 4-lane down through Poorhouse Road, and people are living there. So we have not been successful so far. To me, too, it'd be a good idea. The current administration, it seems like they're more interested in other things. They're interested in wastewater. They're interested in potable water. Water and wastewater is what they're interested in. They're really interested in housing development. But how are we going to do housing development if we haven't satisfied the issue of wastewater and potable water? Because the first thing going to happen, and Supervisor Trainer, you know that because I think you got some good ideas about how to develop housing areas. But the first thing they're going to ask about is, do you have wastewater capacity? Or do you have potable water capacity? And that's the direction in which we should really be moving toward. In fact, that's the direction in which the state wants us to move forward toward. That's the direction in which the federal government wants us to move in that direction. And we're talking about paving roads. Well, there's more out there than paving roads, y'all. There are more things that this administration wants to see us do, and there are things that we need to be doing. We need to be doing wastewater, we need to do potable water, and I'm gonna give you an example. Some of this with rural water, these lines were put in 1970. And when they were put in, it was one person living on that road, one person. Now you got a whole road of people trying to get water off a line that is an inch and a half because it was developed for one person. But now there's a whole community on the road. We got problems.
Oh, yeah.
We got problems with wastewater. We got problems with potable water and drinking water, and we still talking about paving roads. We got problems with people that don't have a place to live. The most important thing that I think we ought to be doing is trying to take care of some of these housing needs. I tell you what you do. You come up with a property to rent property. And I bet you, before the night is over with, you have 20 people calling you to ask about that rental property. These people need a place to live, more so than they need paved roads. And that's what we ought to be doing, in my opinion, dealing with potable water, dealing with wastewater, dealing with housing issues. That can't wait. Whole house is okay like it is, to be honest with you.
Well, it will be when it's
It's okay
upgraded. I mean,
like
it's
it
in the
is.
process of being upgraded.
So both of y'all against the project?
Yes, and the two supervisors in the district, we're not against. We think we should wait until, I think,
But-
till the MDOT study's
The
completed.
MDOT study has nothing to do with
And the
raise
master
grant.
plan, it does have to
It
do,
does
it
not.
ties
This
into the
raise is
university. That
federal.
all is so important. The corridor accesses, it is so important that we're all on the same page.
Raise is federal, MDOT is state. It has nothing to do with that. What I'm saying is that yes, we have tried this grant twice. We have not been successful. But we are closer now than we have ever been. Now, if we decide to abandon it, we know we won't get it.
It's not as important as you think it is.
Well, it's on the table right now. You got to deal with the here and now. I mean, you got to deal with the here and the now, and deal with the history that's surrounding that whole different South.
I just think that right now we need to wait on that application. They have Pickering Group has tried it 2 years in a row
But Brick,
to get
Mr.
that money.
Supervisor,
I understand.
every time we wait with you, it costs us money.
No, well, it's
It-
costing us money.
it
It's
costing
cost us
the taxpayer-
$200,000 for
it's
the last
costing
2
it-
years with no results.
But
Supervisor
how do you?
No results.
But it's competitive. We
No
are getting
results.
results. It's competitive.
I understand that.
It's competitive.
Apparently, we're
It's
not
competitive.
competitive enough.
Well, apparently we are, because we're getting results. We're getting
Where?
results
Where
for the
have we gotten
relationship.
results? Where have we gotten money? When has that group
Let
won?
me-
and
let
got
me-
money?
Let me ask you a question. Did you read in your follow-up? Did you read in the follow-up?
Yes.
Did you read in the follow-up what it says, where we have a 2.5 million transportation earmark for Artesia Road? How did we get that? Did you know that?
Yeah, I saw it in there.
How did we get it?
Mississippi State have always
No,
put that part on.
No, they didn't.
That have
No, they
always,
didn't.
you asked me a question, right?
They didn't.
Did you ask me a question?
Yes, but you're
Well,
wrong.
Can you have me to answer that?
I don't want you to answer me wrong.
That
wrong.
has always been a part of a transportational plan.
But we didn't
A
get it.
transportational plan.
This is an earmark.
Yeah.
This is in the
Always.
omnibus bill legislation that we got this
and
money
that-
for Artesia Road.
Earmarks.
That is necessary.
Well, it's-
There are
hey,
no more earmarks.
you can call it what you want to call it.
Earmarks are back.
You can call it what you want to call it.
It's being widely discussed.
But we got
on the
$2.5
federal
million
level.
for Artesia Road. We got to decide how we gonna spend it.
That has always been a part of the transportational plan.
But it
It's
wasn't
been a part
approved.
of the transportational plan for years.
But it was not approved, Supervisor Williams, and you talking about roads. We got blasted on Facebook the other day about a road.
Yeah, because we got individuals who are not taking care of
But
potholes.
they put it on
They are
Facebook
not taking care of potholes.
and making us look bad.
We got, well, I'm not looking bad because we've
What?
got
It makes me
road
look
graders,
bad.
we've got road graders.
But why should they have to
We've
get on
got-
Facebook
we'll
and blast
pay
us about
people-
roads?
We pay people a large sum of money to go out and clean our covers, so why these covers are not
But
cleaned
the
up?
public don't care. They put it on
Okay.
Facebook and
Yeah.
blast us about roads. With old pictures, and we have to go and tell people that those pictures were old, we had already corrected them hoes.
We're on the South Loop now.
Can I-
South Loop
can-
involves
can I-
District 5 and District 4.
But let me
It's
say
in our
something.
district.
I want to circle back around to what Supervisor Trainer was saying about our trip to Washington. He mentioned our senators that we were able to get in and sit down and talk with and meet with. But also I want to mention our congressman. We had opportunity to meet with Congressman Guest. We didn't have opportunity to meet with Congressman Kelly, but last week he sent a representative from his office to Oktibbeha County, and we toured all of these projects. So I have to agree with Supervisor Trainer. We are further down the road than we've ever been. And we've got an opportunity here, regardless to whether you all decide you want to pursue a project in your district or not. I think we need to move forward with having some representation to continue going after some projects that's critical to our area and that we've got an opportunity right now to get. So I'm gonna second Supervisor Trainer's motion, and we can hash out which projects we want to do on a later date. But
Well, I think we in
I think
agreement.
that we do. I just
think
have to
we in
sign
agreement.
this. And so I think right now we need to decide if you're gonna use the Pickering group, what projects you wanna use them for.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We've got
What
2 no's
project?
and 2 yeses. John?
What's your thoughts, John?
Oh, man.
Kill it or make it live? It's on you. We ain't got
So
that.
I don't mind hiring them But we gotta decide on what project is gonna be a feasible project and what project is really gonna be approved by this current administration. And
So
that's
do
what we
y'all
gotta
want,
decide.
I mean, if you pull this raise grant project out, with all the work that's been done,
Well, why did
moving
they do
forward,
work
let me,
without a
let me-
board
let me
order?
ask you this.
Well, they're not doing it for
Are
free
you
now.
planning on
Everything
picking
that's
it
been
back
done.
up, or are you planning on just wasting the taxpayers' dollars on what they've spent? I mean, you don't just get a project the first time you go at it, second time, even third time. But you build these relationships and you continue to work toward these projects until you get that project. So I'm just, listen, I'm saying, if y'all don't want, let's put something else in, but
Let's
let's
put
move
something else
forward.
Let's put something else.
Okay, so the topics I see, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Well, here, you want me to, I'll just read it off this contract that they got. Widen Courthouse Road from Hell State Boulevard, to Highway 25. Complete a safe and residential multi-use path adjacent to Hell State Boulevard. Connect with Bulldog Way to Hell State Boulevard. Widen Hell State Boulevard to extend necessary safety, integrity to Bulldog Way, courthouse and connections. Involve robust public engagement for transportation planning efforts of East Occidental unincorporated rural areas with areas the long-standing environmental justice concerns.
You wanna let Kurt come up and speak?
But now that's a letter to the Secretary of Buttigieg. This is a contract right here.
Yeah, okay. But
Can-
what I'm saying is
if
they're
y'all
saying in the
mind,
letter what they're doing.
If the board don't mind, can we get Kurt to come up and talk to us for just a little bit? If it please the board. Kurt, come up, please.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I appreciate the discussion. Y'all got a lot going on in your county, and so I wanted to clarify a couple of things. Number one, it seems like this is fixated on Poorhouse Road. And you mentioned that you spent a couple $100,000 on this project and hadn't gotten anything. I want to clarify. I think our contracts so far have been more like 130 or less. And what we're doing on that, what we're working towards on that, is the environmental assessment that would support the Poorhouse Road, Hale State Boulevard project. So we've been working on the document. It's, a couple of inches thick, and we'll turn that in, by the end of April. But in pursuing a RAISE grant, or what was a build grant, before the RAISE grants came out, one of the key factors was to be able to demonstrate that a county or a municipality had already invested in a project. And so that's kind of what we did when we started working on that project, is to develop an environmental assessment that would pass muster with MDOT and Federal Highway Administration, and it focused on the technical things like residential relocations and wetlands and stream crossings and bridges and all that stuff that really wouldn't change. What it didn't include, and still hasn't included, is a lot of public engagement and public involvement, because we wouldn't want to do that until MDOT and Federal Highway were fully on board and a project was funded and you wanted to go to those next steps. So that kind of is where we are. I agree, we've submitted 2 applications, haven't been successful. We've had some debriefs, we've improved the application. But for our contract that we submitted and brought this to the table, the point is we would serve at your will and pleasure. We want to pursue the projects that the county wants to pursue. We don't dream up your projects and then force feed you to do whatever it is that we think is best for you. We want to do what's best for you.
Can you explain, and I
Sure.
appreciate you,
No.
because apparently I'm the man in the middle here, but I'm wanting to look at these topics individually, and let's just look realistic.
So which topics are we talking about?
Well, I'm gonna start with the one I think that's
I'm not sure if
the most pertinent, is the dam rehab, and the update on that. any monies that are out there, speak realistically regarding the County Lake Dam. I mean, what's out there, how much is out there, what's our chances to get what's out there?
Right, so you're getting kind of into my colleague Jeff Ballweber's expertise. I know that we've done some research on that, and we believe that when that lake was built, it was built one way, and the spillway, the levee system, the dam, you know, obviously needs improvement, and so that's kind of what our role is to identify different sources of funding that would be able to solve your problems. And so on the dam at the lake, that we're going to pursue at your, if you so desire, an NRCS grant, and that would probably cover most of the cost, but it may not cover all of it. We can work with the state legislature on finding the difference.
So you're saying applying for that grant? Okay, and I appreciate that. And I'll be honest with you on the topic number 2, the South Loop connection, not really worried about that. Topic number 3, the Bluff Lake Road rehab. Why is the county involved in Bluff Lake Road?
That's a great question. That's a federal, that's on, not.
I'm curious.
The portion of property that we're looking, the portion of roadway that we're looking at improving is in Occidental County. It's a county road, but it leads into the.
That's the.
Do we have a board order for them to work on that, to even lobby for that? Because I noticed, when did we do that?
Well, now, correct, clean it up, lobby for that.
Okay, because the book that they took to Washington, it said economic development projects, and it had all these logos from all these entities and all these things that y'all took with you when you went to Washington. And one of the things in that book was Bluff Lake. I don't ever remember us approving Pickering to work on Bluff Lake.
Do you remember when we approved the actual pursuing of the grant through the supporting the grant with Travis Carpenter?
Travis Carpenter came here. He came here and requested permission to
We
pursue.
talked about him working with Pritchard Engineering. He said that it wasn't gonna be anything. Did we ever include Pickering in that in any way? I mean, I'm just asking how.
But Pickering has really not done anything for that particular project other than just included in that package.
So all the stuff that they put in the book that they took to Washington, they didn't have approval yet to do, but y'all took the book to Washington?
That's a play on words, Supervisor.
No, I'm asking.
It's a play on words. Everything that they did was authorized by the board.
By the board.
Everything that they did was authorized by the board. Now, what they did, they put together all of the board's priorities and just put it into that particular package. Some of them, not all of them, because there's some things that weren't in there. But they put all that together because of this, probably because of the time sensitive of that particular grant application. Because that grant application was due at a certain time. And basically, all we did when we had the ears of our congressional delegation was to ask for their support.
That's all that happened.
That's all it was.
That's all that happened.
You know, Pickering, I mean, as far as them doing it, really anything, if you want to give them credit for setting up the meeting, I guess, yeah, they get credit for that.
In fact, Congressman Guest, we had already requested from one of the persons with his committee, one of his committee persons, to give us support for the Bluff Lake project. So the board did approve and that we move forward after Travis Carpenter came here and requested permission to pursue that grant. So it's all board approval, in other words.
Right, to agree, Pickering didn't really put anything together. When we set up the trip to go to Washington, we usually like to have 3 or 4 initiatives that we're gonna pursue. It's kinda, you know, a big deal to go up there with only one project. So we wanted to, you know, represent the county in more areas than just on Poorhouse Road. But
and even
other than that, we haven't really lifted a finger on that. But to kind of reemphasize what Mr. Howard mentioned, you know, after our meeting up there, it was a unique situation where one of Congressman Kelly's legislative assistants made a field trip down here and wanted to tour the
Isn't she from
county.
Tupelo?
Huh?
Isn't she from Tupelo?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, she grew up in Kyville, but,
Thank you for Tennessee.
yeah. But anyway,
I'm wondering what
Not
that's
o-
got
not
to
often
do
do we
with
get,
price
uh,
of tea and China. She's from Congress.
not often do we get.
Some people try to just kill progress is what some people
Let me
do.
make myself clear. I have no problem with continuing using Pickering firm to go after grant funding. I have no problem with that. It's just that we just have to make some priority decisions in terms of what's really gonna work.
Sure.
Can we really get funding? If we're gonna continue year after year after year after year behind the South Loop, then we wasting money and wasting an opportunity. We wasting an opportunity to get something that we really could get. Eventually, with all the funding that's out there, it's not gonna be out there always.
That's true, that's true.
If we don't move forward with getting something in place that the current administration really gonna approve, we just wasting time and wasting money.
I think it's important too that we all work together, and then we had community roundtable on Friday. You know, a lot of times when our projects have gotten approved, it's because it's a collaborative effort between all groups. And even though we did have a letter of support, that's not the top priority for some of the other groups. They have 3 or 4 projects above our priorities. And so when we're not on the same page with the group, then a lot of times we don't get the funding.
But they're not asked to do anything but just write a letter of support. We're the lead agency. So why would they not support us? They're not asking to put a quarter in, other than just write a letter.
And the fact of the matter is, we've never had true representation on the federal level. We've got Clearwater hired to represent us on the state level, but we need representation up on a federal level. That's gonna take the board's priorities at heart and not just sort of throw them in with another project that maybe we can get funded for. So, you know, at some point we got, if the South Loop is gonna be an issue, listen.
Let's scratch it and
Let's
come up with
scratch it and
something.
keep moving.
Let's come up with something that we know is gonna be more favorable.
Pickering is sitting here waiting. All they want is some
Well, I
direction
think
from
if
us.
you want them to work on the dam issue, and you think that's an issue, then we just assign them to the dam issue
Well,
for the next year.
didn't you hear
And then
him
if-
say that you don't wanna run up to Washington with one project?
I didn't say
I
that.
mean.
I didn't say that. I mean, y'all been twice already with them. So in the summer, you know, before we approve them in
Hopefully
June.
we'll go back
And
and
then,
meet again.
and then again, so
Hopefully
I'm just
we'll go
saying, if
back.
you want to continue to use them on that, Supervisor Williams and I, my thought is that we not use them on these other projects, that we not move forward.
So Supervisor Montgomery, you prepared to make a decision, or you need some more time?
I'll be honest with you, items number 2 and 4, I'm not really, and 3. I mean, I don't wanna kill item number 1 being the dam, but the other 2, 3, and 4, I'm not as optimistic about, or quite honestly, I don't think that's.
Well, in
front
our
burner.
contract,
It's
I'm
not.
sorry to interrupt. In our contract that was before you today, it's wide open.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you
Yeah,
know,
the contract
It
is
says,
wide open.
we'll get, you know, y'all figure out what you wanna pursue. We wanna match your desires with how to get them paid for. So if it's the lake, it's the dam, if it's Poorhouse Road, if it's other infrastructure projects, you know, that's kinda y'all's, it's completely up to y'all. We wanna work with you in any way, any shape, form, or fashion.
but to resubmit this raise grant, all we got to do is take what we have already submitted, update it, and resubmit it. The deadline is April the 14th.
14th, and we've already got quite a bit of the work invested in that, so, you know, whatever.
So if you abandon that, then of course, you know, we can start over with another project.
You've got a
for next
motion
year.
and a second to support it as it is.
I don't think I can
All
support
right,
this.
so you got a motion and a second, let's take a vote, on the way it is right now, and then if we need to go back and amend, we will.
Yes, sir.
We got a motion and a second, all in favor of that?
Aye.
All opposed?
And that's a
3.
support, that's a supported as it is.
As it is, and we're gonna go back
with
and
the
redo
South
it.
Loop. with the South Loop within it.
Now, my suggestion was,
This doesn't have
this
to
contract
sound
was with the contract with,
We just voted for the contract.
no, you
Another
killed
contract.
everything. If
Right.
you don't support it, it kills everything.
No, but you can go back and rewrite.
Well, you can
it.
go back and
We can
redo it,
rewrite we can rewrite
but
the
it
contract.
kills
right.
everything now. It kills
That's right,
everything.
that's right.
We'll
It
just
kills
take
everything.
the South Loop out and move forward then.
Yeah.
Take the South Loop
I
out.
still don't think
Come
you're gonna
on.
have enough support to do that.
What's that?
even
Take
with
the
it-
South Loop out?
Mhm.
I think, John, what do you,
John said he just wanted to
I
delay.
just, I'm sorry, sir.
But you got to have them hired in order to do that.
But we put $100,000 in and we've got nothing out. I mean, that just, you know what I mean?
Well, I
If you can-
disagree with that. So for any federal project, there's this whole environmental process. That's what your original investment has been in for the project, that we were under the impression that you were most interested in.
Well, I'm glad you're here today to speak with me, because no one's come and asked me about anything in District 1, ever. So, but
So
I
we-
there was an email sent,
So we got a motion and a second, and we, wait, John, did you vote?
We gotta be
Okay,
clear,
so was it
we gotta be
3-2?
clear about the motion.
It
The
looked like
motion
it is.
was to accept what was currently in front of us.
And to also,
No,
hire-
you didn't say that. Are you amending it now?
no,
We
my
gonna
motion
come
was to hire
back.
them.
We come back and hire him.
My motion was to hire them. I'll make a motion that we hire Pickering firm and utilize their services for strategic initiative and projects. That's my motion.
Simple as that.
and then we'll come back and give them the projects.
And then we'll come back and give him the project.
Second,
I agree with that.
But the projects have to be of board order.
we can.
Here,
we can-
voted
we
on,
can-
at the
we
table.
can-
We're not gonna email them what we want our projects to be.
Right.
It doesn't,
Right.
we
We
gotta
just-
get them hired first.
We just
That's what we're
hired
doing
them.
now.
We just hiring them now. That's it. Just hiring.
It's not that hard.
Let's go ahead and put the projects in right now.
Wait,
Well, let's
Supervisor
hire them
Miller,
first.
will you, I move the
We got
previous
it.
question. Point of order, move the previous question.
All right. Right now, his motion is to
Hire
hire
Pickering.
Pickering
Hire Pickering.
And that's it.
and come back and put in board orders what.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
The
Okay.
motion is to hire Pickering.
State
Part
what
of the
you want,
motion.
say what you want.
My motion is to approve this contract for strategic initiatives and projects. That is my motion.
All right, you got Supervisor Trainer led the vote, Supervisor Howard is your second. All in favor? Passes 3-2.
I'd like to make a motion that we submit a 2021-22 raise grant for the South Loop, which includes Hale State Boulevard and Poorhouse Road.
We're not ready for
But he
that.
can make that motion.
That's my motion.
That's his, that's
Yeah.
his.
I'm on second.
All right, we got a motion by Supervisor Trainer that, for the raise grant for Health State Boulevard, South Loop, and Howard second staff, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion fails, 3-2.
I-
Two?
I'm a no.
I'd like to
Three.
make,
Motion fails,
Wait,
2-3.
wait,
Wait,
no.
wait, wait.
And I'm a no.
Okay.
You
Y'all
got
need to wait for the
two
people writing this
for
stuff.
The
No, no.
2022 raise
no,
grant.
no. I'd like to make a
Wait,
motion.
wait.
No, you wait on me. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the Eastern Federal Lands Access Program to be submitted, and also for the Pickering firm to work on getting this particular project approved. Item number 3. That's my motion.
I second that one.
Wait now. So what was on the
That's
motion you made
East,
before?
East Federal.
He's doing them individually.
Well, we're doing
That's it.
individual,
That's
we're doing
That's
individual.
it. That's it. That's all we're doing.
There's
South
nothing
Loop,
says you can't do
South
that.
Loop and voted down,
Val Luke voted down.
voted down.
All right, and what's number 3?
Eastern Federal Land Access Program. Approve that we utilize the services of Pickering Engineering for the successful approval of this program, whether it be grant application, either some type of other earmark or assessment on that particular project.
All right, you got a motion by Supervisor Trainer, you got a second by Supervisor Williams. All in favor? Motion passes 3-2.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we also authorize Pickering and a group to pursue a rural development community center grant through HUD or through any other appropriate funding source.
As long as there's several possibilities, not just one.
Yeah.
Because all of our communities need those communities.
Yeah, it just says community center, it didn't say.
Community
particular
center.
area, district, well.
In every district, in other words.
All right, Supervisor Trainer's motion was to approve Pickering to go after HUD for community centers, HUD money for community centers and districts. Second by Supervisor Howard. Motion, everybody in favor? That passes 3-2. Supervisor and myself were no.
I have a motion if you finish.
Go ahead.
I motion that we allow Pickering Firm to go after funds related to wastewater and potable drinking water, improving rural water.
I thought we already get that through ARPA. I thought we already had that.
Second motion.
Okay. Yeah, and that's to get funds to improve rural water systems, and to improve public wastewater. We got an opportunity to make a difference all over
Okay,
October
Supervisor
County.
Williams' motion, got a second by Supervisor Trainer. All in favor for them to go after federal dollars for that? 3-2.
A motion that we,
I'm
allow
not gonna get a
Pickering.
copy of all these
Yeah.
initiatives that we're gonna pursue.
You get your own.
That we allow
Right.
Pickering to continue pursuit for funding for the Octavia County Lake Dam.
Second.
Motion made by Supervisor Howard, second by Supervisor Montgomery. All in favor? Williams, I'm sorry. Williams, all in favor, that passes
I'm
5-0.
Williams.
That was the motion to keep
I was a
looking
yay
for
on
funding for Octavia County Lake Dam, and that passed 5-0.
That's what we need to find.
Anything else?
Yes, ma'am, I'd like to make the motion that we accept the federal earmark of $2.5 million for Artesia Road improvement.
You have to accept that.
They giving it to you, you got to accept
I
it.
mean, it hasn't been approved yet.
I'll second that.
That
Well, we
money,
haven't got the document on it yet.
well, it's coming.
Well, until we get the document.
It's in the federal bill. It's spelled out Artesia Road in the omnibus federal bill.
I'll
Okay.
second that.
Well, let's take it. We're gonna take it. We know we're gonna.
And nobody knows how we got it.
We don't.
But we got $2.5 million.
Nobody knows his name. Oh, well.
I don't think we need a motion on that. You know
We go ahead and accept it.
Accept
We go ahead and
$5
accept
million
it.
of federal
Yeah, you
money.
got it.
Right now, the motion is Trainer and
Yeah.
the second was Montgomery. She
So what's the vote?
hasn't finished it out.
No, hold on, we're asking.
The meeting
Ron if we can
recorded.
do that
All you do
without
go back and watch
having-
the video.
I mean, that's.
You ever been behind on taking notes?
Well, we gonna have to approve it anyway.
I'm not a good minute taker, we can disagree.
It's recorded.
Okay, you got plenty of work to do.
You got plenty of projects to take.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So Supervisor Williams,
That's South Louis.
Hey.
The flap, you
So
ain't,
we're
you
sitting
don't,
But
here
in
at
the
the
future, I would
table and they're
appreciate
saying that we're getting
the group
2.5 million for
contacting
Artesia
me.
Road through federal dollars,
I'm
but we
always
haven't seen any
available at
paperwork
county.
on that. There was a motion
Whatever.
made to accept it, but we haven't seen any documentation that that's, any paperwork yet, any
John, I
bills.
thought-
Have you seen anything on that,
she didn't send that email out.
on the federal level?
Why don't we wait on that?
Do we need, how
Okay,
do we
yeah,
need to
yeah,
move forward
yeah,
with that?
Let's table that.
don't you have
I
internet?
thought she sent out an email saying that they were gonna be, and whoever had it.
Okay.
I'm getting a new phone as we speak.
Oh,
That-
okay.
Okay, all right.
That three-
So the
I didn't get
attorney's
none.
advice is that we don't accept anything we don't have confirmation on yet, on that bill. So once we get confirmation.
What do you want? You want a copy of the bill? You can go in it online and pull it up. Pull up the omnibus federal spending bill.
We got time.
If you got time to go through that whole however many thousand of pages it got to get to it, but it's in there.
We got time to
We'll get
accept it.
Jeff,
Jefferson,
we'll get Jeff to send it
Jefferson.
to you and
I have faith.
be glad to.
Rob, what you need to do is call Jeff Ball over. He'll give you all the information you need on that.
Second, thank you.
He's got the information. I'll text you his number.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
He's the one they call.
Hey, who made the motion,
Got it
Deanne?
approved.
Okay, Supervisor
You will
Trainer
make
made the
the
motion to
motion.
accept, money on the bill. Supervisor Montgomery on a Artesia federal dollars. Supervisor Montgomery seconded that.
If that's pending appropriate documentation.
Well, that
We don't
wasn't his
have-
motion, but
Can you accept a friendly amendment to that? And
How you
that's
want to do it?
And that's
Hey, if we can get 2.5, I'll
pending,
amend it how we can.
pending appropriate documentation.
Pending appropriate
Well,
documentation.
you're gonna have to have the documentation to get it. I mean,
The motion was amended.
Because I said it, we're gonna get it now.
All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. All right.
And I'd like to make a motion that we look at the possibility of developing a county-wide transportation model that will eliminate all gravel roads in Oktibbeha County. And look at the possibility of using that for a 2022-2023 raise grant.
Now, I second that, or if you gonna second it?
I think that we need to look at working with a firm, a different firm on that myself.
That's not a problem. I mean, you know, what we have to do, we have to take RFQs for different firms who have the capability of doing it. So that's not
I
an
think Pickering is loaded down now, I think, with, if they can work out those issues,
Well, look,
we in good shape.
maybe we have not communicated enough frequently with you guys on what we're doing.
No,
That's on me.
second.
I'll take the responsibility for that. I don't mind. But going forward, we've got a contract here for $45,000 to work with y'all. Let y'all sort out everything that you want to do, your priorities. Again, that's not on me. That's on,
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that
that's
also
what y'all
says
wanna do.
pending written approval. So when you
Sure.
send us bills, that's written approval for us to approve those. So that's why we end up spending more than that in the fees and environmental studies and stuff. So it's not $45,000 a year.
well, the others are already under contract. But look, I guess I was just trying to finish on a positive and say we want to work with you.
Yeah.
We don't work against you. We're not trying to be a problem or a burr under your saddle. You know, we want to work with you and pursue what you want to pursue. So this is a pretty thorough list. A little bit of an eyebrow raiser that we called off Poorhouse Road, but that's your discretion. So thank you, appreciate it. Thank you for your time,
Thank you.
and I'll be looking forward to getting started on something for you.
Need a motion to acknowledge Mr.
Kurt
Craig and his report for Pickering. Motion by Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Williams, Montgomery. All in favor? Aye. Passes 5-0. Thank you.
We still got a motion
Is
second
that
on the
me?
floor.
Am I done?
I think so. I think you were
I'm
offering an
getting a nod.
amendment.
I'm sorry.
I think you were offering an amendment to utilize
Thank you.
another firm,
See you.
and I didn't have a problem with that.
Well, I think we need to do requests for, put it out there and see who all we want to work with.
Well, we gotta get the engineer involved to do some planning. And I don't know whether we wanna use the current engineer or not, cause that's a big project. That's a big project when you think about all of the county gravel roads.
All right, well, you've got a motion on the table, and I don't have to, I think I'm gonna hold off on that, but you've got a motion on the table to look at all the paving, all the gravel roads by Supervisor Trainer, working with a firm. And you got a second, Supervisor Williams?
Let me ask this discussion before we move this forward. We see what's entailed into pursuing a raise grant just for this stretch of the South Loop. We see all the environmental studies that's got to take place, the applying and reapplying and upgrading the application and everything. Are we planning on getting halfway into this process and then deciding we don't want to continue to pursue it?
That's always a possibility.
I mean, at some point, if you're going to obligate taxpayers' dollars to a project, I think you need to try and see it through. So, if that's the mode we want to operate in, I don't. When we go for a grant, I like to try to see this thing through. But if we're not even comfortable in pursuing this South Loop raise grant, now we're talking about a county-wide raise grant. I'm just a little concerned about this board getting part way in and then deciding, well, we don't want to do it anymore.
You want to table that discussion for a later date? Your motion stands, Supervisor Trainer.
Motion stands. I mean, you know, I
All right.
guess we discussed.
Anybody want to second it?
I second.
All right, Supervisor Williams seconds that we look at the plan.
I'm gonna abstain on this one.
All right, I think I am too. John?
I'm gonna abstain.
All right,
Okay.
motion fails without.
No. Motion passes 2 with 3 abstentions. That motion passes.
It passed.
That motion passes.
Okay.
That motion passes with 2 yeas and 3 abstentions.
It passed.
Sure does.
Okay, the last thing I have is a copy of the redistricting that's gonna be published, will be in the Chancery Clerk's office, the Circuit Clerk's office, and the Board of Supervisors office for the public review, should anyone want to view it.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
You need a motion on
No,
okay.
that was that was number 2. We're gonna advertise the notice of the plan, the redistricting plan 1A that the board adopted, and a copy of it is just gonna be in those offices.
Need a motion to acknowledge that we're advertising.
We
Okay.
did.
moved.
That
Okay.
was number 2.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
Okay,
I'm just gonna document.
all right, and then,
I'm gonna get
Go ahead.
Pipper, you don't sign this, now I'm gonna get Pipper and the update.
Or that one.
Then we will
Kirk
have to
Craig.
sign it.
okay. All right, Tom Bigby Water, Management District. Everybody, I think Supervisor Howard's got yours in, Supervisor Williams, I've got mine in, so they're ready to move forward, but I am gonna have to sign some documents. Have we got those, something for the Tom Bigby? Did I sign those?
Oh, yeah, that's under Rob. What we're having to do for each of those,
What I found out is the omnibus bill has $2.5 million from the Artesia Road, but the feds have not contacted us yet and told us that they're still working their way through it. So we haven't got that phone call to say, hey, yes, we have received that money. If you want to, when they get to a point where I can call, put me on speaker and I'll tell
You're on
them.
speaker.
You're on speaker now. Live and in color.
Jeff just told me that there is $2.5 million for this Artesia Road cutoff. It was something that Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith put in for us, and that the project, I mean, it hasn't been, they haven't announced all the projects apparently. He said that usually what happens is somebody from the Fed calls and says, hey, congratulations, you've been awarded X, whatever X is. In this situation, it would be the $2.5 million for the Artesia Road project. The other part of that is we got until this Friday to make our requests for things that are gonna go in the 2023 budget, not the 2022 budget, but the 2023 budget. And that's basically why he's asking for us to do some kind of movement on what they want them to do, because they were trying to prepare how they're going to approach this. That's basically what he just got through telling you.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Talk to us about Tom Bigby Water.
Tom Bigby Water, they should have everything they need. The last 2 documents that we looked at, I guess it was Friday whenever I got in. Mr. Lewis has those things, and I think we're gonna send that stuff in today, so everything should be good.
Have you signed off on all the extra forms that they said?
Yes, everything that I'm aware of is signed off on.
The right-of-way entry and the local agreement signed off?
Yes.
no, we haven't signed off on
No,
it.
the board, you've gotta sign off on the right way entry. You should have that there for you today.
Okay. Okay, so I need to get a motion, to sign off on the right-of-way entry for the Tom Bigby for the clean out.
Correct.
The thing is, we have to do one of these for each of those. We have 3 on the
Should be
table.
about 3 of them.
We have, the one I have now that's prepared.
Skinner, Son, and
Sun Creek and Shrimp Cane.
Skinner.
Skinner, and there's one more. So if you can, I don't have the other 2, I do have the Sun Creek Shrimp Cane. So if you can approve them when we get them prepared.
Yeah, we just make a motion for her to
Yes.
sign.
Okay, so,
But I have
so I'm
this
gonna
one
make,
signed.
the motion would be to approve the right-of-way agreements for Tom Bigby
Correct.
River, that Sun Creek,
Sun Creek.
Trim Cane, Skinner, and then,
What's that?
Shaw, do you have
But
that
which
on
one?
Shaw?
We don't have that on Shaw and Skinner.
Okay,
Attorney Robinson has to prepare that for the other 2, and then
Okay.
if you approve it, she'll just have to sign it and I'll get it to her.
But we do need those 3 done today.
Yeah.
okay.
I need you to prepare the 2 other ones then today.
so we can sign those.
Okay.
Just go
But we'll
ahead.
go ahead and get the board order for those other two, if that's okay.
Perfect.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfect.
So we'll have
That's
all
perfect.
four, so that's for 4 of the creeks. I need a motion.
Just three. The
Three.
Trim
Cane.
and Creek is on that one together.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. And then Skinner
Shanna and Shaw.
and Shaw.
Motion for approval.
Got a motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Howard, to sign the right-of-way entries. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Okay. Local cooperative agreement. What about that one, Rob?
That's on the second part.
It should be, you should have.
Do we need a motion for that one too?
Yes.
Okay. I need a same thing.
So
I need a
moved.
motion for the
Second.
Supervisor Howard made the motion on that.
Second.
And that's for the local, agreement, and Howard, Montgomery seconded it. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Okay? All right? Anything else, attorney, while we've got you on the phone?
One other thing, just to give y'all, there's nothing to be voted on right now, but it appears that I'm gonna have about $1 million for a particular road. I do not want to say the road in open, form right now, just in case something doesn't turn out the way I want it to. But I did want to inform y'all that this is state money, not federal money, for a certain road in Occidental County.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, y'all.
I'm just thinking.
Thank
about
you.
it.
We kinda know.
Okay, I need a motion to,
We'll see.
travel to, for those supervisors that wanna travel to NACO conference in Denver, Colorado.
So move.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer,
Second.
second by Supervisor Howard. For the supervisors that wanna go to Denver, Colorado to the NACO conference, all in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
When is that conference?
That's gonna be in July. It'll be in July the 12th through the 16th, I think, somewhere along.
Okay. Anything else, supervisors, y'all?
You can strike the one at the bottom. We dealt with that one.
Oh, I did want to share that, when we had community roundtable on Friday too, I didn't know if y'all were aware, as of Friday, we are no longer a GAP community.
I know
We
we
have
go
moved-
in and out, yeah.
We have moved out of that bracket, and, another interesting thing, that, Mr. Taggart was sharing was that the reason that we're in, they look to see why sometimes we're in that poverty rate, because that's so,
They gonna say
and
the
it's because of
students.
the age group, 18 to 20 something that is moved
They gonna
into
say-
a,
they
like a
talk
working
about the
class,
students,
working,
yeah.
and that's what pulls it down, so.
I done told them, you wanna know the reason why I jump in the truck with me, let's ride out in the county, we'll show you why.
Yeah.
Question. Would the board be interested in partnering with the city on improving Hospital Road?
Have we done one on Garrett Road too? Did you say something?
Me, myself and the city, that's part of my 4-year road plan money, or we're partnering with Garrett Road, with Vice Mayor Roy Perkins, and I partnering up on that road. We're doing that road.
Are you ready for us to move forward with some type of board order on community?
No, we've already, that's included in Clyde.
Yeah, his plan's already on
Yeah,
there.
it's already in play.
I certainly listened to a proposal.
And so I'm looking at the same thing on Collier Road, similar to what Supervisor Howard is doing. But as I was talking about Collier, the mayor asked me about Hospital Road. If you've been on Hospital Road lately, it does need some attention. You know, the county has a very nice asset on Hospital Road, and the road leading to that asset needs some attention. And so what the city was looking at the possibility, well, if they could get something, a little assistance from us, they already have it in their plan, I think, 5 years from now, 4 or 5 years from now. But with some assistance from us, they may can move it up some. And so I don't want to put any figures out there, but I can get some figures with you and see. I'm assuming what they're talking about is coming back and just doing a little overlay of it.
Yeah, they could go over the top of that.
Yeah, just go over the top of it, dig out the bad spots and do an overlay of it. And I'll find out more about it and I'll report back to the board. And on my project, what I'm doing is similar to what Supervisor Howard is doing, looking at we have some roads that have city and county concern, like Butler and Stonewood and even Collier Road.
Yeah.
And looking at doing just some improvement. Those are not gonna be very expensive projects. And I can take those out of my allotment, so it's not gonna.
That's where my money is coming from, out of my allotment money. That's where I'm taking my money from.
Hey, I think both would get a good bang for the buck, get it soon.
That's true.
You know?
And, Attorney Robinson,
He's gone.
he's gone.
He's gone.
County Lake situation, I'd like for us to maybe look at next time, talking about the County Lake, the legal aspects, the litigation against us on the County Lake, and then also start working on a path forward as far as what we plan to do. You know, at one time, you know, when we had an $8 million estimate that we thought was more than we can handle, that was prior to ARPA. But since we got ARPA money, and I think we've already got a board order where we're going to devote, designate some ARPA money toward the lake, the estimate has exceeded the amount of ARPA money that we have got. County Administrator, I know we've received half our ARPA money, but for those of y'all on the board, there was some stuff going on the federal level that almost put in jeopardy the other half of the money we're supposed to get because of all the stuff that's come up with the war and all the maneuvering on the federal level. But we're hoping that everything will stay the same. We'll get the other half of our money. That's what we're expecting. And then once we get the other half of our money, we can move forward. On the state level, Supervisor Williams, I know what you were saying about water and sewer, but the state, for whatever, for lack of a better phrase, was playing around with ARPA money, trying to leverage that to get this income tax deal passed. Yeah. And I don't care what you say, that's going to impact this county down the line. Anytime you pull out $500 million of revenue out of anything, somewhere down the line, the chicken's going to come home to roost. I hope that we have growth so great and people come to Mississippi so much that we don't see it. But I'm just being realistic here. And so what that's going to do, somewhere down the line, it's going to throw some things back on the local level.
Can we look at, I know we talked about that ARPA money because we assumed that we could use it for the lake. Since that time, I've been told by NDEQ that we cannot use it for the lake.
We can use up to $10 million for any foreseeable.
Any amount you want.
That you
Up
want
to $10 million.
Up to $10 million.
You can
They
use
changed
it
it
for
with some
any
different
general fund
legislation.
I mean, I asked, you know, when the story was in the newspaper last week, I just asked him, I said, can we still use that? And I was told by NDEQ that we could not use the ARPA
How does
money.
MDEQ make that?
Well, because it had to be for a drinking water lake.
No,
I think there's certain, and then I asked him, I
that
said, well, what
was-
about the tourism
remember-
part of it? And he said, no, you don't qualify that way either.
As a matter of fact, you can throw all of that out. It says up to $10 million, you can use that ARPA money for anything you want to in your county.
Yeah.
So all of this other can be thrown out.
And I think two counties have utilized some. I was on the call the other day. I think Forest County and somebody else has utilized some of their ARPA monies for some things on the county level. But see,
Phyllis is checking into it. They've been checking on it. Phyllis Benson, so she's working on it.
Good deal.
On what can.
We've got it obligated to the Octavia County Lake Dam, so
but now,
keep moving.
the request that you got from Dwight Priceoff, if the state said they're gonna match that money, dollar for dollar, Mr. Priceoff's request was that he wanted us to look at utilizing some of our ARPA money as money to match with the state to help with the expansion of the sewer service out. I think it's around District 5, around Browning Creek and somewhere on that end out there. And so that's something I think we ought to consider if the state approves that matching program. You know, if they don't,
We're probably not gonna know.
My question, at some point, do you obligate the ARPA money to the County Lake Dam and be through with it, or do you all wanna keep going back and forth with this? I mean, I thought we made a motion to obligate the ARPA money to the Octavia County Lake Dam.
it is. But at the same time, if you got a chance where you can take a dollar and get two, I mean, you got to consider that.
So then we find
No.
money from somewhere else.
In other words, we have to. I mean, we have to find some dollars.
I thought there was something.
When we gonna be ready to spend this money though?
We can spend
Deborah
it now.
Hossman, he's encouraging us to spend this money as quick as
About
possible.
2024.
But
We don't have to wait until 2024
But
to
that's when you
plan
gotta have
for
it
it,
spent
and we
by-
don't have to,
by-
yeah, we have
need
to.
to know
Not-
what's
not
left.
We
spent
behind
by
now.
then.
We gotta know what's left
We
in the
behind.
PDF.
Yeah, we behind, we need,
Yeah. And I think they can get in that room.
We need to
like they talked
obligate
about
it.
and whittle that 15 million down. That may be
we
down to
behind.
10.
we need to obligate it and start
But I don't know
using
what
it.
we can
Well, it's
give.
obligated.
I mean, Mr.
Had to be obligated now.
Well, we have done a good job to
Price
stay on track today.
I mean,
Do
we
we
got
need
a lot of-
anybody else around the
Oh,
board?
Got a lot of decisions to make.
Well, I was just
Anybody
gonna
else?
say this, is we upgraded or updated our 4-year road plan, and this
Yes.
is my focus for the next year and a half, is our road, you know, our 4-year, and the dam. Anything else is kind of cream on top of it, you know, or the cherry, you may as well say, but that's where we need to, as a board, we need to focus and put our oars in the water and go in the same direction.
But haven't we done it? We got new
We have.
equipment.
I'm just reiterating.
I mean, I'm just, you know, looking for the results. I mean, I know you couldn't tell me that today, but I don't see why at the end of 2024, we don't have all that done.
Okay.
Unless the weather prevents us.
Unless the weather, I get it.
But I know it can't be, it shouldn't be a equipment issue, it shouldn't be staffing.
It shouldn't be funded, but it might. You never know. Oil, gas could go
Yeah,
to
it could.
$15 a gallon, but I'm just saying.
But I think we on tap to get a lot of work
Focus
done.
on that. I think, you know what I mean, guys, that's where we can really do some
The,
good.
the state is ready to match some projects if they are favorable projects. Favorable projects.
They ain't
Like-
ready yet. They're not quite ready yet.
We're getting
Yeah.
there, but they ain't ready.
But see, they took up all their time dealing with the income tax
Well,
deal.
The
well,
income
we have
tax
a-
deal, that's the token that's
We
being
have not
margined right
appropriated any funding yet.
No, we ain't spent no money.
So once we appropriate some funding, then they can look at matching those dollars.
We gotta know what the state legislative body says first, and then it'll all
You
go
did.
down.
You aware of that, right? Y'all got in your packet the request from East Water. didn't
Oh,
you?
yeah, I saw that, right. And that's a good request, in my opinion. My opinion.
Highway
good request.
25, Williams Road, West Courthouse Road,
3 to
Andrews
2.
Johnson, South End.
But there's other water associations gonna have the same type of request.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
And I've told mine,
That's a
water
good start.
associations, let's see what we got left, and then we'll move forward.
But I think
And
it-
that's been the way of thinking all along. Let's see what we can get out of federal, or let's see what we got left. But it seems like we keep wanting to go back and reach in.
Well,
All right.
all I can
Any
say.
further
But anyway.
any further discussion?
I'm good.
Okay, the next meeting would be on the 18th, which would be the Monday after Easter. Would y'all like to have a morning meeting or an afternoon meeting?
I won't be that afternoon, but if y'all meet that morning, I'll be here. But if y'all, but I can always attend via YouTube if I need to or call in.
All right, anybody?
I'm with you fellas, whatever y'all.
9
Whatever
o'clock
y'all
is
decide.
fine. 9 o'clock is fine with me.
But I make a motion, is it good with you? You don't have a big event?
I do the following weekend.
Oh, the following weekend?
This weekend and then not Easter and then the following weekend, so yes.
So in other words, you may be, well, I mean, Alex, I won't be here, but at the same time, if you have this family, I don't want.
The
inconvenience you.
18th? You won't be here for the 18th if we do morning?
If we do evening, I won't be here. I'll be
You'll
here
be
for
here
morning.
morning.
Yeah.
Well, we can make it for the 18th at 9 o'clock. I need a motion for that, please.
I make a
Supervisor
motion,
Trainer,
and make a motion, we stand adjourned.
adjourn. Supervisor Williams is second, 9 o'clock on the 18th. All in favor?
Sometimes,
Wonderful week.
sometimes it gets messy when you make sausage, but we made it on time, and that's the record time.
Y'all just got me a little concerned. Y'all keep wanting to grab officers.
No, we
Yeah.
we got to get when we start spending. Once we spend, we can't get it back.
Yeah, well, it's obligated already.